Well, hello out there in podcast land, and welcome back to the Front Row Movie Reviews podcast, the podcast for people who actually like movies. And welcome to another episode of Guilty Pleasures, the podcast where we celebrate the movies we love, despite what critics, public opinion, or even our own God-given sense might tell us. I'm your host, Lou Hare, and welcome. This is our Christmas episode. Everyone, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, happy holidays. And welcome. So we are here today because it's Christmas. I am, as you've heard, I've already been joined we're doing today's episode is a very Brady Christmas. And to talk about this, I'm joined by my own very lovely lady, Miss Donna Hare. Donna, welcome.
Hey.
Thank you. Good to have you back on. Now, we're doing something different today since this is the Christmas episode. We've asked you before what your favorite movie is when you were on the Game of Thrones recap, but I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite Christmas movie?
The Muppets Christmas Carol.
That's a great choice.
Just a season to be happy and joy.
Yes. 10 seconds in, and we've already got a musical interlude. And if you had Donna in your office pool as the first one to break out into song in this episode, congratulations.
Oh, absolutely.
Out there had to be like, what, 50% odds?
That's a long shot.
Yeah, like long.
No,
Yeah.
not. But we are joined today by two new guests to the Front Row Movie Reviews podcast. I don't know. I've got this thing now because I did Best of the Best 2, and I brought on another brother team of Adrian and Alex Aguilar. This is not a shot at my cohorts, Scott and Craig, but I brought in yet another brother duo to join me for a very Brady Christmas. So first, let's welcome to the podcast, Mr. Tim Tierney. Tim, how are you?
I'm wonderful, Lou and Donna. How are you? Wonderful. I feel like I want to call you mom and dad, even though we're really pretty much the same age. But I still want to call you mom and dad. I'm sure this isn't the first time that somebody has not referred to you as, "Hi, mom and dad. How are you guys?"
Well, Tim, since this is your first time on the podcast, I'm going to ask you two questions. First, What's your favorite movie? And then what's your favorite Christmas movie?
Favorite movie is Almost Famous. It's easily Kate Hudson's best role. Far and away, her entire career, it's her best role. The music is my favorite soundtrack as well. From songs from Simon and Garfunkel to Thunderclap Newman to even a song that was written during the movie for the band specifically in the movie. I know Stone Gossard of Pearl Jam was a part of that writing of that song in that movie. Just based on Cameron's life following Led Zeppelin, who happens to be my favorite band as well. I mean, there's so many factors into it that just factors into my favorite music, my favorite era. My favorite era of music is 1968 to 1973. So this is it's Philip Seymour Hoffman's favorite. My favorite role for Philip Seymour Hoffman playing, oh my goodness, Lester Bangs. So, I mean, it really is the wheelhouse of my love of music and movie as well. And it's a movie I've easily seen more than 25, 30 times. I can go on forever. So that is easily my favorite movie.
All right.
Shit.
Great.
Well, that's all we have time for today.
Thank you for the Almost Famous podcast.
I'm Cameron Crowe.
And then quickly, what is your favorite Christmas movie?
It's going to have to be A Christmas Story.
Okay. Very good. All right.
And we'll stop there because I sacrificed all my time with Almost Famous. So
I say clearly you don't care as much about it, but okay.
All right. And then finally rounding out this bunch for this podcast, please welcome Tim's brother, the one and only Mr. Patrick Tierney. How are you, Patrick?
Oh, I am well. That's all I got. I'm good. I'm sipping on some whiskey. I'm feeling fine.
Excellent. Thank you. And so I will pose the same question to you. What is your favorite movie?
My favorite movie is Kramer versus Kramer. Bold.
Surprise.
Oh, deep,
Yeah.
that's a deep cut.
Please get into the plot of that movie.
know- I'll keep it brief, but it's just always, people ask that question all the time. What's your favorite movie? And probably since college, that's just been my go-to. That's just the first one that comes to mind, and I kept second guessing it, and I was like, you know what? No, I think it's Kramer versus Kramer. I just think it's a perfect film. Those are my two favorite actors at the head of it. I think it's a brilliant screenplay. I think it's shot beautifully, and I think it's a simple film. I think it's just clean, simple, pretty honest storytelling. To not get too pretentious here, but I just love it. I just think it's I think it's a perfect film.
All right. And how about your favorite Christmas movie?
Favorite Christmas movie? Well, my brother and I have a very distinct love for A Christmas Story, but to keep things spicy, I will.
I really hope it's going to be a very Brady Christmas at this point.
Imagine if I said that. No, I hate Christmas. No, my favorite Christmas movie, besides A Christmas Story, is White Christmas.
Okay.
Excellent
Fair.
choice.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lou,
Just
your favorite
classic.
Christmas?
Well, I hate to, it feels rote, but I
I'm
have
going
to
to say he's going to say Die Hard.
That was gonna be my guess.
Die Hard, it's a choice between Die Hard or Christmas Vacation.
Okay.
And I will be, for the
Christmas Vacation, absolutely.
for the purists out there who want to debate whether Die Hard is a Christmas movie, which it is.
I will debate that.
But if
I will debate it too.
but if, so I will say no. Christmas Vacation. I saw it in the theater. I watch it we watch it every Christmas. I make Donna watch it whether she likes it or not. I've never even asked her opinions of the film. We just watch it.
Watch it. We just don't watch it at my parents' house because they have a television that shows every flaw in that movie possible. So
Yeah, don't watch that movie in high def.
no, high def. High def is a bad choice.
It's such a
bad choice.
It
It will
is-
ruin your childhood.
it is
Show
such
Beverly D'Angelo's real age.
yes, and you could just see the spray painted on snow, and the fact that it's clearly the Lethal Weapon lot that they just threw
You
a whole
can
bunch
see
of
the
fake
wires
snow
that
on.
spark up when he goes on the
Yeah.
snow sledding.
We're
Yeah, different movie though.
different movie. We're
Very
ruining
Brady Christmas.
and we're
Yes.
ruining people's Christmas. So let's talk about another Christmas movie that, much like Kramer versus Kramer, involves a divorced couple.
Wait, do we know? I want to know Donna's favorite. Real quick, I got to know Donna's favorite Christmas movie.
Muppets
I
Christmas.
started. Where have you been?
You did. You did start, and I apologize. I'm sorry, Lou. Go ahead.
We are off to a great start. We are
Wait, Donna, what did you? You know what? No, wait, hold. Donna, did you say your favorite movie, or do people already know?
I've done that before.
She did that on a previous
Yes,
podcast.
Before.
So,
That's what I was confused with. I think and I said Christmas movie.
yes,
Sorry,
yes.
Lou.
So no, fair enough. So tonight we're going to talk about A Very Brady Christmas. It is the 1988 made-for-TV reunion film featuring most of the original cast of the Brady Bunch. We'll get to that in a second, but I'll give you a quick synopsis. When Mike and Carol's plans to surprise each other with exotic vacations falls through, they decide that the best Christmas present is to bring all the Brady children and their new family members home for the holidays.
Good present.
That's a great trailer read right there, Lou. That's great.
Thank you. Thank you. I did. I went through multiple drafts.
Good. It's concise. It's clear. That's what it is. You're right.
Well,
Absolutely.
I think it's hard not to be concise with this movie because it's an hour and a half, and really
Yes.
There's not a lot going on, but
Well, I was going to say a lot happens.
a lot does happen, but also a lot doesn't
lot
happen.
uncomfortably happens.
You know
Oh,
what?
God.
Because I wouldn't say the kids don't get there till like 45 minutes in. Which so
Yeah, it's the reunion movie where they hold off on the reunion.
I noted that I was like, wow, there's not much left, and the kids just got there.
Yeah. Everybody got there at the same time as well. I mean,
Yeah.
It was amazing.
And now we have 7 subplots to resolve in the next 45 minutes.
And spoiler, a building collapse.
So this, as I mentioned earlier, this is a reunion of the Brady Bunch minus Susan Olsen, the original Cindy. She was unavailable for this because she was getting married at the time. So she's
hey, sorry guys, getting married.
One of those two people could work around that.
I think she's saying I outgrew you.
Yeah.
Sorry, but well, you know what?
Get the hot chick from Ghostbusters instead.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, she is replaced by Jennifer Runyon, who is her second biggest claim to fame is being the female student in the opening scene of Ghostbusters.
Because that's the only thing I could remember her from.
Yes,
that's it.
So
that's about it.
So she replaces Susan Olsen, but the rest of the cast is back. So the original show airs. It goes off the air in 1974. This is 1988. In between, we also get this is not the first reunion of this group. There was actually a reunion before in 1981 called The Brady Brides, which was a made-for-TV movie that got turned into a mini-series / sitcom that ran for 10 episodes. And it begins.
Charles in Charge.
She's also in Charles in Charge.
I've got to say, she was on Charles in Charge.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. From 1984 to 1990.
Who could forget?
I'm sorry. I had to Google that. So
God forbid we.
Right. We can now move on. We can move on now. Sorry.
Okay. So the Brady Brides focuses on the marriages of Marcia and Jan to Wally and Philip. So those two new characters, because I'd never seen this movie and I'd certainly never seen Brady Brides. So apparently Wally and Philip had been already integrated in. Yes. So they're canon already. By the time we get to this.
Brady Brides.
Oh, how and give us what's your take on Brady Brides?
I mean, okay, to be fair, I saw Brady Brides, some random day in junior high, like on the U, like on WCIU, the U, and what do I remember? I just remember thinking that, well, this must have only been 6 episodes. And I think
10.
Yeah.
10
You are
episodes. You're very close.
and I think at least a third of that is just the movie repackaged as sitcom episodes. So we cut 7 years later, and they figure we're gonna have a go of it again. And this one does a little bit better. This movie does incredibly well in the ratings. It gets a 25.1 rating, a 39 share, which for those of you who don't understand that means 39% of America with televisions watched this show. They watched this movie. So this had it was so popular they reran it the following year and then rebooted the Bradys one more time, which we'll save that for the after we get done talking to the movie. So the movie itself it's got a 5.8 rating on IMDb, which for out of 10. So for those of you keeping track of the Guilty Pleasure scores, this actually is right in the middle of the movies that we've done so far. It actually scored better than Grease 2, Best of the Best 2, and Batman Forever.
I'm telling you, I'm doing this.
Yeah. But it scores behind Last Action Hero and Little Monsters.
Last Action Hero. Wow.
Last Action Hero.
Little Monsters scored better than
even behind the AC/DC movie, huh?
Yes.
Wow.
So we're 6 months in, and Last Action Hero is still the leader in the clubhouse, folks.
Wow.
Yeah. So let's dive in here.
Please.
We were talking about this before the podcast, but this was mine and I believe Donna's first time watching this movie. This was recommended.
Shame on you both.
I feel like maybe I have seen this like as a child, perhaps in 1988 when it came out.
You probably. I mean,
I feel like some
One
of
of the
it.
39%.
Yeah, there's a 1 in 3 chance that you did. But yeah, so no, we hadn't seen it before. This was recommended to us by the two of you. So I'm gonna turn it over to you and give us your first impressions of when you first saw this movie. Let's start with Tim.
I think the first time I actually saw this movie, I mean, I was 7 years old when it actually came out, and I vaguely remember seeing it on reruns about 15 years ago. And just out of morbid curiosity, I'm gonna watch this movie. There's something drawing me in, as you know, with this podcast being guilty pleasures. There's something drawing me into how dreadful yet attractive this movie actually is. This was the plot lines being so ridiculous. With
Was it the mustache? I feel like it was the mustaches. I feel they were drawing you in.
I think it was more. Wait. Okay, two of the Brady boys are married to their fellow coworkers. Is that what? Is that a real thing?
One's not married yet. Rub it in. Rub it in for Peter.
You're my boss. I can't marry you.
You made more than me.
It's just. It was one of those like you watch with this face. Like that, like I'm still.
I stole his face. Can you? Okay.
I can't. I should I keep watching this? Like, all right. I'll just keep watching. I gotta see how this thing ends. I mean, obviously, it has something to do with the creepy, the antagonist of this movie, the client of Mr. Brady. With the I don't need to build any of that. You know something's happening there at the very early part of the movie. But it was one of those. It just kind of drew me to it, I guess. So I rewatched it this past week, and I went, yeah, this is exactly. I watched it again, like I just that face. That's
so you watched it twice recently?
No, I mean I remember watching it about around 15 years ago, and then just for memory's sake, watched it earlier this week.
I think every 15 years is a pretty.
That's about right.
That's about right.
Yeah.
I think once every not to spoil our scores for the end here, but once every 15 years, probably pretty good.
Yeah.
How about you, Patrick?
Well, here's the thing. This film, I'm calling it a film. That's a lot of credit.
Because it was shot on film.
I think you just lost some listeners just because of that.
I know. It's garbage, sure, but I think, but I have a thing, like I'm a nostalgic person. I'm a very sentimental person. I am somebody, like, whenever I'm with friends, particularly, or my brother, particularly you two, Donna and Lou, like, I'm somebody that's like, remember when we did this? Think about, like, I'm somebody who doesn't love living in the present. So
absolutely.
That's true.
Tell me you're not stuck in 1988, Brady. We got to break the mafia.
I was only 3 in 1988, but so I saw this. You know when I first saw it. You know when I first saw it on channel 50. Which is what? What do they call channel 50?
Very specific.
WPWR.
Yes, channel 50. I was probably 8 or 9, and it was like a cold December day, and I was just like, well, this is I've seen the Brady Bunch, but this is them much later. I have an affinity for Christmas, so like Tim said, like I didn't want to be, but like my 9-year-old self was like, you must watch this.
We did not watch it together.
We did.
Yeah.
I'm sure
No,
we
we
have
never
at
did.
some point.
Okay,
No?
see,
Maybe.
that's
If it was on WPWR back then, we might have at some point, maybe not from beginning to end, but at some point we caught it together.
See, and that's what I find hilarious, because when we were in the group chat talking about what Christmas movie we wanted to do, you both like simultaneously were like, "Oh yeah, of course!" Like there, I felt like I was like, "Oh, this must be maybe some like family tradition."
No.
No. But you know what it is? Because if we're talking like, guilty pleasures, I don't think either of us are like, yeah, we love Brady Christmas.
Those words have never been uttered, actually.
So like this, I would call this episode the guiltiest of pleasures.
Oh, guilty. Yeah.
Okay. So all right, so let's dive in. And you mentioned it, so let's start, I was trying to write down some of the things that stuck out to me. And I think the first thing that stuck out to me that you mentioned, Patrick, is just the nostalgia factor of this movie on two, and now it's got like two levels of nostalgia, because if you were nostalgic for the Brady Bunch, like you mentioned, that works too, because you're getting to see all the characters, almost all of them reunited, all grown up and catching up, and there's that. But now watching it in 2017, the nostalgia of the late 80s.
It's true. That is yes.
And it starts with that bewildering opening, very long credit sequence where it's just Mike walking around the house.
Where is my checkbook?
Mike, tell me what my Christmas present is. Oh.
But they're fit, they're exercising. I respected that.
They are. They've both kept it tight.
Relatively.
But they walk through, and it's essentially just this, like, really basically it's just this excuse. Look how the house has updated since the 70s.
It's still the same.
It's the same house,
totally
but
new furniture, everybody.
Right, but
we painted the staircase.
And it's so funny to see like that, like like in the 70s, it's like, oh, this is what upper class, white America suburbs looked like in the 70s, and they're doing the exact same thing in the 80s. And I'm watching this, and it's just like, holy shit, that just. But the fact that it's being filled with this 70s cast and crew, this nostalgia is like this like convergence, like this Reese's peanut butter cup of nostalgia of like, you've got 70s in my 80s, you've got 80s in my 70s.
This is why it's a guilty pleasure for me, because I'm somebody who, like, those opening credits, I did think, because I hadn't seen it, though it's one that I enjoy overall, but I haven't seen it in a long time, so I was reminded of many things, and I did think, so I'm glad you mentioned the intro. I was like, oh, this is just Mike walking around the house. Cool. And you'll appreciate this, and you'll laugh at me. I did think, wow, these orchestrations of the main theme are impressive.
Mm-hmm. They did their work.
But I just want to say that I thought that my brain was like, oh, but I love seeing that these people updated their home. I like to see like
with furniture.
I like to see what became of the Bradys in the 80s. I don't know that the 80s were kind to them, but they updated nonetheless.
Were the 80s kind to anybody at this point?
Cocaine. It's a hell of a drug.
That's what I made a comment while watching the movie. I happened to actually do a screen frozen, if you were, in the first few minutes, completely forgetting Robert Reed, his orientation being, as it were, him going. If you go back and really watch it, that first opening scene where he's looking for his checkbook, the pose he makes on the sink with with Florence Henderson there. Where is my checkbook? Like, it is sort of like, oh, Roberts, there it is.
Like, how did we not know? I know.
There it is, Robert.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. Well, here's one reason that we didn't know, and that is Mike Brady is so handsy.
Oh, very.
He is a like these two are a walking Cialis commercial.
I'm so glad you said it. Can I just say this?
Yes.
My first note, because I took notes. My first note was still sexually charged after all these years.
Mm-hmm.
And awkwardly, it's like watching your parents like get really close and personal. Like
Like, now you're understanding,
you
like,
never
oh,
wanted.
this. Yeah, like, wait
Like,
a minute. I understand why
I'm
mom
gonna
and dad are
be
doing that
Night,
now.
Carol, you want to make me beam? I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
I felt dirty.
You want to make me beam? I remember. Yeah.
I was like, I need to take a hot shower now and like scrub this off of me.
Oh, God, I get the reference mom and dad are making now. Ah.
Yes.
They are horny.
That being said, like how, like it's a little, I mean, what was this rated? Or like, you know, like I thought their first sexual exchange was a little much. I was like, I mean, I guess I didn't get it when I was an 8-year-old.
No.
Watching
Yeah.
it as a 32-year-old, I was slightly uncomfortable.
This is
Well,
CBS in the late 80s. Anything goes.
Well, and it is because that's the other thing. Like the sitcoms of the 70s and 80s too. If you go back even and watching them, like all of the like their best way to show that this couple is really good together is just to show how horny they are for each other. Like the Huxtables always want to bone.
Oh, Claire want. Oh, yeah.
Like they, I mean. So yeah,
even her in-laws, even Cliff's parents were like, they have an episode about how they bone still. Like, oh yeah,
right, yeah. And then you had like Family Ties, those two, like they were Family Ties, Growing Pains, all of like your family friendly shows featured like.
You're hitting all of my. You're
oh yeah.
Where I.
Wheelhouse, huh?
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. But they were all just like. They want America to see, hey, we are a happy family and we have sex regularly. And
minimum 3 days a week. Minimum.
You know what? I'm happy to see that Mike and Carol are still horny after all these years.
It is. I mean, you know,
absolutely. They make a point to say there's no kids in the house. Well, we have no kids in the house now, so we can bang right here on the kitchen table if we want to. You want to do it, Carol? I mean, yeah.
And it's not.
I was like, shit.
Well, and it's not just that though, too, because the other thing that, since we're talking about the physical aspects of these characters, let's talk.
I'm glad we've gone there.
Yeah, let's talk about all of the Bradys have one trait.
All very handsy.
They're all very handsy, and they're all horrible kissers.
Oh God, that whole scene when everybody arrives in the house. Oh, hello, yes, hello, everybody. Like, what is going on there?
That's what you focus on. It's not Christmas dinner where, hi, I'm Marsha. I'm gonna make out with my husband. No, it's or hey, mom. This is my husband Wally. We've been separated. Now we're gonna do it in the office.
Oh God, with him on the chair right here. I'm gonna ride him on this chair he's sleeping on.
So awkward.
I thought they really got down and dirty, and I was like, no, Jan, no.
Yeah, Jan. When Jan and Philip reconcile, they reconcile.
They really do. That was another moment where I was like, what was this rated?
It was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I felt very uncomfortable.
Well, and that's the thing is this is made for TV. It's not like they're planning a theatrical release. They're just like, we're good. This is good. Like, and I don't know if it's because it was the Bradys everywhere, and they're like, oh yeah, we can. Or somebody
they're not showing anything to today's standards. I mean, it's
unfortunately
pretty tame. But you're just thinking, like, if that was you Like if that was us and then that was my
Yeah.
mom outside the door, we wouldn't be doing it in the room. That's
Right.
just weird.
Right. It's like if we had a fight and your
Yeah.
mom had been your mom had come and helped us figure it out, and we're like, hey, things are all good.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some makeup sex now.
We'll be late to Christmas breakfast.
The best sex there is.
Yeah, and Carol's just cool with it. She's
Yeah.
like,
She's going with it.
there's 12 people in the house. Have at it. Do what you got to do.
You just hammer it out, you know.
See those grandchildren.
So,
But
yeah,
Eve Plum, I can't. I don't know if you're going there eventually, Lou. But Eve Plum, I can't get enough of how just let's make up now. I'm asexual. I'm not sure exactly what. Do we press our faces together now, or like, well, I can't.
Or
No,
just,
yeah.
Eve Plum has never looked pleased to be there.
Exactly.
very
That's what I
bitter.
mean. Like, yes, like,
Yeah. She's
all right,
very
well,
bitter.
she's the one in the reunion cast that thought her career was gonna go better and she wouldn't have to do this shit again. Like everyone else seems to be like on board with it. Everyone else is kind of
Yeah.
rolling with it. Who I'll get to, but let's not. But while we're talking Eve Plum, but yeah, you're right. She just has like the who farted look on her face.
No. Eve Plum is Jan, and she just can't get enough of. Even when she's doing the whole awkward separation scene, which, by the way, one of the funniest scenes of the movie, if you can say that. I mean, that's is Philip stomping his feet to dry off his feet because Eve awkwardly asked him to do that. But even during that whole scene, like it just can't. She can't even act normal, even when she's angry. She just can't.
Philip is the worst. No,
But it's still like when he's like, it's almost like he's like, I hate this freaking movie.
my notes here. One of my notes is Philip sucks.
I mean, yeah, he's awful. Like the whole like, hey, so we're separated. Should we go to my parents? Well, if you want to, I guess. Like it's
Like I'm glad that like Jan is like happy and married because like Marsh is happy and married, so I'm sure Jan wants to be happy and married. But like Philip sucks. But you know what? Wally's not that much better. So
I think
Jan
Philip is better than Wally.
Ooh,
I agree, Donna.
Better than
I
Wally.
agree, Donna.
let's get into Wally since you bring him up. Let's unpack Wally because okay, this movie
she could do better.
has like 40 characters in it. This movie is like Game of Thrones in an hour and a half.
Oh,
like,
God.
and yet we spend what feels like an inordinate amount of time on Wally. Wally is for those who haven't seen it, Wally is Marsha's husband, Marsha Brady, the girl next door.
She looks fabulous. She
Oh,
looks so
yeah.
Yeah,
Maureen
Girl,
McComb,
she ends
God
up with
bless.
Maureen
Wally.
McCord, yeah, she can get it.
Yeah.
That
She's still got it.
yeah,
she looks great in the movie.
yeah, but and so she's now married to a toy salesman who has like no filter, who's lost his job, and you pointed it out, Donna, about when he comes home and he just unloads all the family drama in front of the kids. Hey,
Makes sense.
I know Christmas is 2 days away, but kids, just so you know, I lost my job.
Thank you for saying that. What? Like no one does. No, he would not do that. Would you do that?
No, and then they do it again in the bedroom or like over the daughter, and it's like,
Oh.
I gnash my teeth, and then I think about how much it's gonna cost and how we can't pay for that anymore. And it's like, meanwhile, little daughter who has no name, her soul is dying.
Oh yeah, she is completely nameless at all. Yeah.
My biggest regret of seeing this movie so late in life is that I never got to go to an audition and say, "Hi, My name is Lou Hare, and I'm going to be performing the teeth grinding monologue from A Very Brady Christmas.
I lost my job.
You know that I'm going to do that probably next week.
Please.
I really hope so.
I need that in my life. But yeah, he's so, it's such a weird character to get so much time. Like, they're shoehorning in the original cast as it is, and like Wally has like the most like.
He must have done very well on Brady Brides.
Maybe they were like, they saw him and were like, hey, we caught lightning in a bottle with this kid. I'm like,
I don't know. What else has he done? Does anyone know what else he's done?
I didn't look. I don't know, but here's
Jerry Hauser is the actor. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've really seen him in.
I feel like he looks familiar, which is why
He's done.
Well, you know why he looks familiar?
The
He was in
hair.
Slapshot,
It's
Lou.
the 80s white Jerry curl.
Oh, was he in Slapshot?
He was
Oh,
in
that's
Slapshot,
why.
Lou.
Okay, so
Yep.
he actually had some cred. No, here's why he looks familiar to Patrick, because I felt the same thing when he first opened and he walks in the room. For a split second, I thought it was going to be Mark Lynn Baker.
Okay.
And I got really excited. And
yes.
It's not. He's getting that Perfect Strangers money while this is filming. And for a second, I was like, "Holy shit! Did they get Mark Lynn? This may be my favorite Christmas movie of all time."
Perfect Strange.
And it's not.
Money at that time.
Marcia can't be married to Mark Lynn Baker. No.
Well, she can't be married to his non-union Mexican equivalent.
She was.
No, that's a Simpsons reference.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Yes. Spiergo.
Yeah.
Well, when he walks in and he has the box of things, and Maureen McCormick is just, what's going on, sweetie? Things. Well,
Yeah, he's
why
got
are
a
you
box
carrying-
of all of his belongings, Maureen.
What's going on?
what's going? So did you have a bad day? Yeah, it's the thing. Well, okay, that's great. Why are you carrying all your shit in your box right now? Like what?
Yeah. And he worked the whole day. They fired him in the morning. They just let him.
No, you fire him at the end of the day.
No.
Yeah. So we learned a lot about Wally, and we learned about Philip. And then we have the rest of the crew, because each one of those, the funny thing is there are 6 Brady kids, and each Brady gets their own separate subplot. In addition to Mike and Carol.
And Alice.
And Alice. We have 9.
So much to unpack there on Alice.
There are 9 subplots in an hour and a half made for TV movie.
It's so much. Why is she putting a blue uniform again?
Oh, okay. No, and I'm going to say this. Alice is here. Yeah, she has her subplot is the saddest.
It is.
She gets the saddest, and it's
and the quickest resolution too.
Yeah. Sam the Butcher.
No, I'm just. Are we going there? Like, she takes him back? Absolutely not. She ends
dressed like Santa. I mean, come on. Why?
Oh, you're Santa. I love you.
Forgivable of everything.
You know something about meatloaf and your. Yeah, sure. You're back.
She's a cut above. I got referred to as a meat cut. I totally want you back.
If there's one thing I've learned in my life is that women love to be compared to slabs of meat.
Absolutely. That's why my marriage is so strong.
But like they specifically say to Alice, "Oh, Alice, you're not working for us anymore. Like, stop." Yet they let her wear that uniform.
Next scene. Blue uniform on. You want scrambled eggs, Greg or Mike? Do you want scrambled eggs? No, Carol. No. Yeah.
Baffling things in the movie to me was she's still wearing the uniform. And I get why, but it's like, they told her that she wasn't working for them. Yet she's looking for pies, you know?
Looking for pies.
You take Sam away and she's just a maid, is really what they're saying. Alice has no worth.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Once,
if Alice can't be married, well, then she must be a maid.
I got to serve Mike scrambled eggs.
Mm-hmm. But while we're on the subject of Alice, let's not ignore national treasure Ann B. Davis.
Oh,
who is killing
best actor in this movie.
Oh,
my
hands
favorite
down.
performance.
Because
hands down.
She kills it in this movie because she is committing. Like she's the one person you could I don't know.
Like, it's 1974 Alice.
Oh yeah.
Nothing has changed except her hair color.
Yeah, I'm gonna give the people what they want. This is what they want, and she serves it up.
Yep. Terribler. She uses that word in this movie, terribler. And they're like, oh, Ann B. That's so Alice. I love it. Yeah. Thank you.
No.
We're like, Alice, you are going to single-handedly pick up every one of our children from the airport. Good luck.
And carry all the luggage? Like, what?
And yet none of them come in at the same time. They all are spaced just enough to get a hug.
Like, didn't they just, like, you would think, like, wouldn't she just rented a van or something?
And like, what airport are they all coming in at, like, within 10 minutes of each other?
Yeah. And that's
all the work.
Yeah.
And where's I'm sorry, your flight got canceled. I'm sorry, your flight got delayed. Yeah. Of course, this was the 80s. You still got food on planes. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was a happier time.
Well, and that's the thing is they show Alice picking up each individual children, and it reminds me of the other thing that this movie just is baffling about this movie is they really, I don't know if there was like contract negotiations with these actors that like mandated they each get like a scene, because essentially what we get is once Mike and Carol, the first, you think the plot of the movie is going to be that they're both planning simultaneous vacations. And they're like, oh, that's going to be the thread. No, that resolves in the first 15 minutes.
Oh, easily. No, we're not doing that shit anymore.
Yeah. And so now it's like, hey, we want to bring the kids together. So now not only do we get that idea, but we have to watch Mike and Carol call each child. We have to have 6 separate scenes that say the same fucking thing over and over again. Just like they did in the first one where Carol's calling and they're telling all the kids about, oh, hey, I got your mom this present. Don't tell anybody. That at least is like kind of cute to show that, oh, they can't keep a secret. They do this again.
And Ann B. Davis is still the best, and she has the best reaction to it when it comes to like Catherine Jabez. She goes, okay, yeah, I'm speechless. Where meanwhile the other ones are like, yeah, Mom and Dad.
All right. Sure. Yeah. Let me pack up all my stuff and spend Christmas in a house with 13 people.
Yeah, that's great. But Ann B. Davis still in character the whole time. I think I don't know if the others are thinking that, like, okay, if I do this, if I really come through and I'm not the same person I was in the early 70s, like maybe I'll get another made-for-TV movie. Ann B. Davis is like, fuck this shit. I'm fucking Alice. Like, I'm gonna react like this. I'm Alice. Like,
I bet Ann B. Davis was like, I mean, I have to wear my uniform. Are you?
Yeah, I gotta wear blue.
Like. Wearing my uniform or I'm not doing the picture.
Yeah.
2 things I love about that. One, that she would demand that, and I see that, but that she would also refer to it as the picture.
Yeah.
I think she. Yeah. Rest in peace, Davis.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
I think she was at least asked. And if you wear the Alice costume, I think without a doubt, she went, yeah, I don't give a shit. Like, yeah, sure, put it on me.
Probably like I never took it off.
Yeah.
I wear it under my clothes all the time.
Those syndication checks. Yeah, those syndication checks are clearing every time I cash them. I will wear
my motherfucking mortgage. I don't care. What do you want me to wear? The apron too? Can I get the apron? Sure, whatever. Fucking whatever.
And what to me? Okay, sure.
Yeah. Sure, maybe if you compare me to chuck roast, okay, what
rump roast, thank you. in one of the,
they really, it's how sad. Like, I'd forgotten that. Like that's why they were, because like Sam like went off with some other lady. Like, what, Sam? What, like, I held him on such a pedestal, and he really just disappointed me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you really can't trust a man who gives away free meat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, believe me, I know.
Euphemisms galore as a butcher.
And honestly, that is still that's still more elegant and more innuendo than we get from this movie, because they are just the meat references. They're so on the nose.
That whole letter is spectacular.
Spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, Anne B is keeping the look, but a couple of people are not keeping their looks. A couple of people want to show that they've grown, and let's be, because it's really the only thing we're talking about him for. Because Greg Brady gets nothing in this movie. He gets one thing, and that is a glorious 80s mustache.
Oh God, it's glorious. It really is, Lou. Good call.
I can't
It's even
talk.
referenced. It's even referenced, like, oh, the one without Kevin, the one without a mustache.
Okay, I can't talk about the mustache because I dig the mustache, but for all the wrong reasons. I'm like, Daddy.
So I'll pose this to you. So then, better mustache, Greg or Mike?
Oh, I mean, Barry Williams. Yeah, absolutely. Barry Williams. I mean, the fullness of it. I think with Robert Reed, he really has. It's a little too thin.
Didn't even realize. You're right.
But he's got the fro to go with it. I mean, it's not just the stash. He's got the fro.
It is a package deal.
It's total creep factor.
Barry Williams really fills it out with the almost Ron Burgundy-ish, the fullness, I think it's actually a reference in the movie because of how effective Barry's mustache is.
I like to.
It's actually referenced in the movie.
I would like to feel that he walked on set with that and said, "Listen, I worked really hard on this. We're writing it in.
We're doing this shit, all right, folks?
We're doing this."
If I was directing the film, I'd be like, yes, keep the mustache. By all means, see you in my trailer after we shoot.
He's got to be like Dad. He's got to be like Dad, but now that he's grown up and he's a doctor, by the way, which he makes sure to mention like a few times in this movie, like, I'm a doctor. My nurse is my wife. Just so you guys know. And I have a beautiful mustache.
Yeah, I like his mustache. I'm a fan.
Yeah. So I can be a doctor in the most low rent, bare bones hospital ever.
That's right. It's like in an office building somewhere. Like it literally is.
Literally, they just wheeled a bed on, and it's just.
Oh, she's having a baby? Okay. Don't hook her up to anything because we don't have any of that shit.
No.
And let's not put anything out on the table.
Right.
Heaven forbid there be complications.
Right. There are tables there. It's like, does somebody want to just throw something, a bucket, something?
Well, clearly,
is there any medical professionals? Like
their eye for detail is not very big, because if you'll notice on the front yard of the other toy maker, his robe is hanging a tag. A tag of where they bought the robe from. It's just hanging off his arm.
Yeah.
Because they said, we don't care.
Yeah, give a shit. You're not gonna watch this shit no matter what.
Care.
Yeah, the toy.
Perhaps they were staring at Greg's mustache.
They might have been. They might have just been distracted by
mystified.
Yeah, because it is honestly. It's if Greg has like next to zero screen time. I think of all the Brady kids, he might get the least. And maybe it's just because the longer he's on there, if you just stare at that mustache, you I'm fascinated by it, because part of me doesn't believe it's real.
I mean, I know what happened to me as I stared at his mustache, but everyone else may have felt different.
Well, I don't know.
I think he got the least screen time because I think his story was the weakest.
Yeah.
And if we're gonna go into Greg, I wrote about I wrote Greg's wife, bitch.
Well, I mean, the only controversy with the story was hey, so I'm gonna spend time with my family. Just take our kid.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
Wait, talk to me. You know, I am not married. Lou and Don are married. My brother's married. But like, I'm sorry, but what did she say? She's like, what did Greg say? We've been to your parents last year and the year
before.
And before that.
Yeah. And now here my parents are offering to fly us here for free from wherever the hell they are in the country.
Yep.
And he's a doctor, so clearly he can't afford airfare.
Yeah, I mean, he's a free-loading son of a bitch. Like he really,
and this woman is still like, no, I'm gonna go to my family.
It's
like,
probably the mustache. She probably needed some distance.
That's yet the negotiation is, you know what? I guess I'll give in. You take the kid, and I'll go see my parents.
right? Yes.
And you take care of the kid, and I'll definitely not have.
I feel like that's every summer for us. Like I go down and I take the kid, and I feel like this is. Wait a minute.
So in this situation,
that's the healthy part of every good marriage.
You're Greg.
Donna, that's the healthy part of every good marriage is once in a while you listen as Patrick would get this league. You guys would probably get this League of Their Own reference. He just said, just shut up and just take the kid and shut up about it. And I'll just, like, you need it for a good marriage. I think you each need to have that time of like, just take the kids for whenever, and I'll take the kids whenever 6 months from now. But it's just weird with this, like the whole conversation they have, the decision they have is, you know what? How about this? Mm-hmm. You take Kevin, and I'll just go with my parents because
they're far.
No.
Yeah.
Well, the past 2 years. No, she is a bitch.
Oh, of course. I'm not contesting that, but it's just a matter of how they blow over that. Just take Kevin, and that's our compromise, okay? Great.
That's I'll go and spend time with my family, which I'd clearly rather do than be with you two assholes.
Yes, it's true. Like, kids want to see Alex. Come on.
To be fair to Greg's wife, their son is an asshole.
Oh. No.
Yes.
He's the good boy. No, it's Marsha's son that's the asshole.
No,
Mickey?
Mickey's the asshole. He's the redhead.
Yeah, no, but the other kid still, both of them. He's socially awkward.
He's the slug.
He's the slug. Yes,
he's influenceable.
Let the other kid pick on him when he had to go to the bathroom. He stood up for his cousin. Mickey wouldn't do that.
Marsha's son, I appreciated his Cub shirt, so he got a lot of
yes. I think that was
his first on-screen appearance. I was like, oh, look at that.
I think that was their one and only way of letting you know that they were in Chicago.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. We live here, everybody. Look. If the daughter had like a Bears shirt on, I guess you'd be like, hey, just everybody, just so you know, we live here in Chicago.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that where every good toy seller goes?
Right. I mean, clearly everyone knows that if you want to make it in this toy industry.
What is a toy seller?
Apparently, he sells the shit out of Boglins, and he does a good job because I actually had one of those. I had a Boglin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did. That was a real thing. I had those. They're like,
wait, that's real?
Oh yeah, that's a real toy. But they don't acknowledge the name, so I don't know if they got the rights to it or not. They probably were just like, they just probably pulled whatever toy the kid was playing with that day in his trailer. And they're like, no,
the fucking Boglin, I guess, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. So no, those were real. I had them. And they were like rubbery and kind of slimy too. They were this weird consistency. It was messed up. But so
So speaking of messed up, are we ever going to talk about Peter's underwear thing?
Oh,
Anyone else catch that? Because it was awkward, and we had to rewind it and watch it again to make sure that happened.
Yes. So Peter,
everyone see that?
So to catch everyone up, Peter,
what robe is he wearing? Like it's right out of How I Met Your Mother episide with the nightgown.
Yes, it is. That's exactly what I thought. I was like, he's wearing a nightgown.
Yeah,
he's wearing a nightgown.
His nightgown also perplexed me. I thought better of him. Continue.
Well, it's not just the fact that it's a nightgown, that it's the long night shirt in 1988. I don't remember those trending in 88, but I don't know. There's a lot of, it was the 80s. I was fairly coked up, but no, but it's the fact that it's a see-through nightgown too. Like we had, like Donna pointed it out. We paused. It's like
I was creeped out, and I said, "Did I see that? Did I just see?"
He crossed his legs.
Little tiny black tight underpants.
Yeah, he's got like.
And Lou's like, "I didn't see that."
He gets on the bed.
Go back and we watch
While he's talking to Bobby, he gets on the bed. He flips over like, "I don't know, Bobby. What do you think?" Yeah, I got you, Donna.
Well, no, when he's walking up the stairs, you can see like a clear cut of his underpants. It was just so tight and awkward.
Yeah. I'm guessing.
Can I say something here?
Yes.
I appreciated that because I'm also a fan of 1988 Peter.
Okay. He was in the prime. He was in the prime of his looks. This is before this is pre-Adrian Curry years.
Oh,
he's in the prime. He's in his prime.
If you recall but still with Adrian Curry, like he looked pretty good. Like Peter Brady, he could get it, and he did.
Yeah. I think anytime everybody's gone to reunions, we've all done it, and we're all looking for who wins the reunion. And we all know what we're talking about here.
It's Marsha.
Marsha and Peter win this reunion. I think they win the reunion.
Well, Bobby with his.
I don't know, but Lou, don't forget Cindy. I mean, she's completely different.
Well,
we have to look over her.
I think she's NA because it's a new actress.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you that. But all of a sudden, she's like this blonde Southern California hottie. Like, oh, I'm sorry, Cindy is what now? Like, and she even says like, I don't want curls in 12 years.
It's a Roseanne scenario where they upgrade and
new Becky.
we had hot Becky for a couple of seasons there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because she didn't have the list.
Mm-hmm.
her Cindy list.
Yeah.
She doesn't.
No.
Oh, it's good. It's been cured.
Doesn't Cindy lose the list? Like actual Cindy, doesn't she lose it later in the actual series? Am I making that up?
No, she loses it.
Okay.
She's like 10 or something.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't remember. I haven't seen much of the original series, so I can't. I didn't. I missed it. And
Me TV. Do yourself a favor. Sunday mornings, Me TV, 11 a.m.
Well, and they even throw it back in this movie. They throw it back to an old camping episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like they even throw it back to the original episode in the movie. They go like, "Hey, let's throw it back to that old episode. Remember we were camping? Let's eat 2 minutes at a time here."
And like for a second I thought, oh well, because they've resolved the vacation conflict. Are we just going into like a straight clip show here? Yeah. No, but they don't do that, but they give us one more at the end, which let's wait before we get to that, because I think we got a couple of the other kids we'll get to first before we get to the big climax of this film. Peter Brady's big conflict is that he's dating his boss. His girlfriend makes more money than he does, and that's a problem for him. And okay, fine. It's on the scale of like who gets the best and worst like subplots. It's somewhere above Greg's wife doesn't want to come. You're going to Christmas by yourself. but I don't know if he's quite as high as Bobby Brady's. I've dropped out of graduate school to be a race car driver.
Well, we want us to wonder what's he in graduate school. His business administration graduate school. That's the field he's going into. I mean,
and by the way, just to let you know, when the movie starts, he wants to make sure that he lets you know he's a cool bachelor. I'm eating pizza. I'm also eating Chinese takeout. I got the whole bachelor set up, everybody. I'm a cool bachelor with no woman on my side. By the way, I'm going to eat some chow mein right now because that's what bachelors do in 1988.
Yeah. And so his big subplot is he's a race car driver on the side. Like he's like a DL race car driver.
For what? Like what
Like,
kind of racing is he doing?
I want to know. I want to meet a race car driver that ever refers to themselves as a race car driver. Like,
Yes.
Hi, my name's Bobby. I'm a race car driver.
Yeah, I race one other guy. That's what I do every day, as you see here. Once in a while, yes, they are. Once in a while, I hop out of the car and take a phone call, but you know, I'm a guy.
That's my service. I have a service too, by the way, in my business administration class.
So his big conflict is, I don't know if I should tell my parents that I've dropped out of business school. Presumably because Carol and Mike have got to be footing the bill for that school, right? I mean,
I would guess.
That money in.
Have we just established at this point that all the Brady kids are freeloading regardless of how well they're doing?
Pretty much.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I imagine Bobby is using all that money to invent meth. Because if you look at his teeth, he's totally got meth teeth.
Yeah.
He's definitely got when he smiles, he's definitely got the gum showing and little tiny teeth. Yeah.
He's inventing meth with that money.
This you can tell this movie was made at a time before anyone thought high definition was going to be a thing.
Oh, absolutely.
I bet you couldn't see the price tag, maybe.
You probably couldn't see the price tag, and you probably couldn't see through Peter's nightgown to his bikini briefs. Because on a
for that, I say thank you.
And I think I want to say that the makeup decision for Eve Plum, just going, what should we do with Eve's hair? I don't know. Fucking make it like Florence's. I don't give a shit. Like, just go, just do it. Like, fuck, whatever. What's Florence doing? Just whatever she's got. Just fucking make it the same thing. I don't give a shit. You know, that's what I'm gonna say. Like the decision process.
No, I think they were just like, it's like 80s. Okay, yeah, well, we got it. Good. Thank you.
Yeah, just fucking whatever.
We're gonna roll. Okay, so I think that leaves us the only character we haven't talked about from the Bradys yet is Cindy. Ironically, because I think she gets the booby prize for subplots here. I think she.
Oh yeah.
Her subplot is she wanted to go skiing, and now she's not.
Aspen.
But like, she's not dropping out of school, right? Like she's still in school.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, clearly.
She's in college with a bunch of other kids who none of whom appear to care about going home for Christmas because there's this big ski trip going on Christmas, and she's like, I guess I'll go home. But nobody asked me. I'm like, again, I'm operating 100% under the assumption that Mike and Carol are footing the bill for all of this. Like, they're not. She's paid. There's no student loan program here. They're paying for her college.
They gave up Greece and Japan for this shit.
Right.
I mean, obviously, like, a movie had to be made, but like, how have the kids all not really come home in a couple of years? Like, what's going on?
No,
like the first time.
Well, we'll probably get to that when you find out what happened after this movie.
Yes.
It'll give you some more insight into why they haven't been home.
Yeah, because you assume that, so all of the kids just scattered across the country, apparently, because they never see each other. And that's the big hook of the movie is, we're seeing everybody, and it's the like wink to the audience is, oh, for the first time in however many years, we're all getting together. But you're right. The Brady, like none of the Brady kids live in Los Angeles. They don't see any of them anymore. So they have to, like at some point, if I had 6 kids and they all moved out of state,
Yes.
I might start to take that personally.
I feel like Tiger held the family together, and now that Tiger is gone.
Oh.
Fuck this shit. I'm out. Tiger's not there anymore. Fuck you all.
Yeah.
I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
Dog. Why are there any animals in this?
Well, I mean, it's 14
That's
years
too much.
since it's well, I mean, it's 14
I'm sure
years.
if we look closely, we'll find an urn.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's Tiger over there, right next to cousin Oliver. We won't
It's
say
in the
what happened to him.
He was eating, I think, pretty much.
Yeah. So, okay, yeah. So we get them all together. They all have these, and they take so long to set up all these subplots and resolve each and every one of them at the Christmas table.
Yeah, we got it.
During this one toast, every single
A
subplot,
toast that never gets finished.
the toast that never gets finished, and
No.
they're just like they like set all of this shit in motion and resolve it in literally 2 minutes of screen time.
Classic TV movies.
20
Classic
seconds
TV
of the
movie.
2 minutes was Marsha making out
Yeah,
at the dinner table.
Yep, absolutely. And that's classic like TV movie. Like, let's fucking everybody. We need to wrap this shit up as soon as possible. We got 2 hours. Let's go at this table right here. Let's go. Okay, you guys, what are we doing here? Like that is, yeah.
well,
That's a classic TV movie.
Peter gets engaged. That's huge.
it's huge. It's a big
All right.
It's a big moment for the family. Everything gets so all of the kids' subplot gets resolved. So we have enough time because we haven't talked about Mike's subplot. Mike's subplot is he was
And Carol's.
and Mike and Carol's is that Carol's company hires Mike or recommends Mike to do the architecture for this developer.
It's questionable.
This
developer.
questionable developer who fires Mike because Mike wants to install some extra safety beams, which would cost an extra 10%. That's going to raise my cost. So he fires Mike. And then on Christmas Day,
Because that's when a lot of work happens.
the building collapsing. Okay. There's so much to unpack with this. Okay.
Oh God, are you kidding me? We can, yeah.
The building collapses, not trapping the construction workers, but trapping 2 security guards.
What were they doing? Like, what were those security guards doing?
Doing their jobs, Donna. They're doing their jobs. They're all American men. You know, they're blue collar.
Securing a building that hasn't been built yet.
Yes.
Well, clearly there is some need for security because if anyone watched that police tape, like sometimes I can go under it and I'll just be fine. Sometimes I get pushed back. Yeah, whatever.
The news reporter, I can't cross it. Next scene, I'm over here.
I'm over here now. That's good.
I gotta get the shot.
It's cool, everybody.
So when it collapses, Mike is the only one who can help figure out how to keep it collapsing long enough to get the workers or get the security guards out. He, of course, because he's Mike Brady, is going in. He goes in. The security guard gets out. Mike gets trapped underneath.
Because TV movie.
I mean, that's intense. It still made me nervous. Makes me nervous.
I really want to say that perhaps the Chilean mine accident that happened was like.
But like even the Chilean mine was like
this. Like somebody did this, right? They tried to recreate their own Brady Christmas. They trapped all of those miners.
The amount of the Chilean miners are trapped for what, like 3 or 4 days, and Mike Brady's trapped for what? 2 minutes.
2 minutes. long enough. He's trapped long enough for the family to get there. Yeah, and sing him out of it.
Yeah, because no one ever explained what happened. Like, he was dusting. He's dusting. And he hears the singing, and he can come through.
The power of Christmas compels you.
It's a nice throwback, I suppose, to Carol's previous singing. I mean, I get why they do it. I mean, I am charmed by it, I'll admit.
No, I'm with you, Pat, because like if there are things I am as easily manipulated as anyone else. Like dramatic Christmas carol singing in a like a cappella Christmas music in a film will work on me 100% of the time.
Yeah, I'm such a lame-o, but yeah. I'm like, well, this is really dramatic. There's 10 minutes left in this movie, and they're just really gonna pile it on, and they do.
So, I'm really hoping at some point during this Christmas season we're all put to the test, and we can sing our way out of it. I plan on trying this.
Yeah.
Oh, come all ye faithful.
Let's crank it out, everybody.
There's gonna be a moment where you're gonna be really like frustrated, like grading final papers or something, and I'm just gonna bust out, "Oh, come all ye faithful."
I feel it's gonna happen with Delta. I feel like Delta is gonna get this happening for us. So we're gonna make things happen.
So yeah, it's so funny because absolute nowhere. They foreshadow it a little bit, but it's like, you know, I feel like they're writing the script and like, do we need to amp up the drama a little bit?
It seems like an afterthought because I noted like times of when things happen in the movie, and they resolve all the issues with the kids, and there are exactly 10 minutes left when Mike getting trapped story begins. And I was it's like, you know what? This can't be an hour 20. It needs to be an hour 30. Mike needs to almost die.
Yeah, he needs to die instantly. Mm-hmm. He needs to die instantly. We need to have his memorial, and we needed to go, oh my God, Christmas is a whole new meaning now, and that's. But because of that classic TV movie, you know, plot, you have to go, all right, well, let's get this shit over with in 2 hours. What do we got to do? All right, well, Mike is trapped for 2 minutes. Let's go. Okay, Sam comes back, and him and Alice are good now. And Merry Christmas.
Do you think Sam helped Mike out? Did he bring some meat?
Oh, that would make more sense.
Strategically place it.
His strategically placed meat saves Mike Brady. Yeah. No, like, and honestly, it takes one line to resolve both of those plots. To say, hey, you'll never guess who helped me out of this building, and it's Sam.
Dressed as
and the lady he was trading meatloaf recipes with, she's now trapped in the building and it collapses.
Oh, wow.
She's dead.
That's what I want.
So now Alice doesn't have to worry that he's going to go back to Meatloaf Lady.
You know what? I would have preferred Alice to stay with the Bradys, if I'm being.
There's no Sam resolution at all. Yeah.
You know what? I didn't need her to get back with Sam. I didn't need it. No, I don't think it was.
You could tell. I think, you know, as much as we pile on, but Alice seemed genuinely happy waiting on the Brady's hand and foot.
That's her life, I guess. That's her path.
Honestly, I was a little bit more disappointed. I was like, "Oh, you're not gonna be with the Bradys anymore." Like that, her being with Sam was not as satisfying.
Yeah. No. But that's where we leave it. That's where we end the movie. Is Sam and Alice are back together? The family.
Why
is
does
singing.
he come dressed as Santa? That's what I really don't understand.
Well, because that's how they let him in the door. Like if you open the door and it's just Sam, they slam the door right away.
No, I think they start beating his ass. Yeah, I think they just started beating his ass like Mr. Potter in the SNL sketch. I want a piece of you, Potter. Yeah, like I think they just do that with Sam. Like, oh, it's Sam, get him in there. Like, yeah. But he said, oh, Sam is Santa. I guess, okay, I guess he's not so bad. He's Santa.
Like, who's gonna let Santa just like this Santa in?
It's the 80s, honey. A lot of stuff.
A lot of shit just
Hello,
happened.
person we're not expecting.
But you're dressed as Santa, so you're probably.
It's like they're eyeballing each other. Who ordered Santa?
Yeah.
Who's doing this?
So, okay. So, before we move on, I want to say, is there anything from this movie, any other scenes or moments or things that we haven't gotten to that you want to discuss? Anything? We'll start with Patrick. You got anything?
Say that again. Any what?
Anything that we haven't covered yet that you feel that we've left out? I think we've given it a thorough rinsing, but is there anything we've missed?
I just wanted to give a shout out to Alice on the rowing machine.
Keeping it tight.
Middle of the call.
That is a bit of an Easter egg in the film, if you will. Just like Alice in the background rowing, and I just thought it was bizarre and not needed, yet hilarious, yet why. And you know what? I bet that was Andy Davis just being like, "There's a rowing machine here. Let me do my thing." And you know that they were like, "You got it, Anne. You got
Absolutely."
it."
All right. How about you, Tim? Is there anything that we've left out so far?
I just absolutely love, and I always love with TV movies, and especially with this one, like, all right, Brady Bunch, all right, let's spend the first half hour of the movie, like, let's make sure we define each and every kid and where they're at and what they're doing. Like, all right, Greg is clearly a doctor, and then obviously, you know, Marsha is clearly a housewife, and Jan is clearly a disgruntled housewife, and also Bobby, don't forget, you know, eating the Chinese food and eating the pizza. Well, he's got to be a bachelor, you know. I just love that when they each talk to the kids, they're setting up like, this is where each and every kid is, and it really is classic TV movie. In the everything has its step, and the next thing is supposed to resolve another, and everything as we talked about in here, everything wraps up with, you know, just that whole everything's wrapped up in 30 seconds. Mm-hmm. That there's no plot development, there's no character development. It's all right. This is character. This is what they do, and the next thing is, you know, it's really beautiful, and it's a perfect TV movie in that sense.
Awesome. Well, the funny thing about this is this TV movie does so well. I mentioned this earlier. They rerun it again in '89, and they use the rerun of it as a launching pad for a new Brady's series. This actually takes place in the 89 to 90 TV series called The Brady's. I don't know if either of you are familiar with this or not.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
So The Brady's...
a very Brady something?
No, just
this is not a comedy.
Not a comedy.
Let's not make any jokes.
No, that's what I mean. It's a play off of 30-something.
Yes.
Remember, like
Brady
they call it a very Brady something. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they call it.
So this is a 1 hour dramatic series now. For some reason they felt that The Brady's could work as a dramatic series because the made for TV movie did so well. I guess they figured, because that's the other thing about this movie is that they don't have a laugh track in this like they do in the sitcom, and you can totally tell that the actors are pausing for a laugh track that never comes.
Because that's how they were coached, and that's how they brought up.
Yeah, they've got their timing down of setup, punchline, wait a minute, then say the next line and go. And they don't change. They don't deviate from that at all. So this spawns a new series of The Brady's. It only lasts shockingly 6 episodes. A 1 hour dramatic series that features, here are some of the serious subplots that we get in The Brady's. So we mentioned that Bobby is a race car driver and that Carol has some reservations, but they accept it. Well, in episode 1, Bobby becomes a paraplegic.
I mean, right out. I mean, they're getting right into it. They're like, we're not
Right
fucking
out-
around. You are.
This is
Yeah,
not
this
a
is. We're getting
comedy.
serious. Yeah.
Right out the gate.
Oh,
No,
he
this
becomes
is,
paraplegic.
he does.
Yeah.
Yes, he gets into a car accident and he is paralyzed. So yes, that's sorry. First episode, like coming in hot. I mean, it's
Have
Yeah.
you seen
We're for fucking real. That's what the Brady Bunch
Yeah,
are announcing right
yeah.
here.
ultimately.
any of these?
I have not seen these yet. No, I have. I've only read the synopses of them online. So yes, so Bobby is paralyzed, but by episode 2 he does get married. So it balances
That's
out.
cool.
Yeah. So Bobby's
It's sorry, Lou. Is he a paraplegic because I'm stuck on this? Is he a paraplegic because of the race car driving?
yes,
Of course.
yes. He gets into
Because-
an accident in his race car.
Because of he veered away from the business administration, so clearly
Graduate school.
that was
Yeah.
it was very 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 bad decision.
Yeah.
And,
Where you can add your assets and debits together. I don't know if anyone else caught that one, but
and,
you
and,
can add your
and now
assets
and now
debits together.
Alice can't do. She can't get her advice that she
But-
was asking for.
But you'll be happy to know that Bobby uses his business administration acumen later in the series when him and Peter and Greg open up a rehabilitation facility. Yes. So it's, Greg using his medical degree using
Obstetrics.
in
And
obstetrics.
obstetrics. That's the original stem cell research, right?
Yes. Okay.
Greg Brady.
So
Gold.
To see this, I want to see all 6 of these episodes.
Yes, because what else you'll see in that is you'll see Mike Brady going into politics. He
Yep.
runs for city council. Peter dates the daughter of Mike's political rival. So there's
So clearly he never got over his girlfriend,
Yeah.
fiance
yes,
being the
the
boss.
engagement
No,
sadly
yeah.
from the movie doesn't last.
Yep.
Oh, you're
Anyone
kidding.
guess what happens to Marsha?
Oh no, we're saving that one.
Oh.
I'm saving this one. We're
right.
getting there
It's a bombshell.
because Jan and Philip, they're still together. They struggle with infertility and they actually adopt a Korean child.
That sounds about right.
I
Lord.
don't name, yeah. And then Wally, sadly, has lost the second job that he got at the end of the film. He's still unemployed.
He's not a good toy seller.
He
I mean-
clearly is not very
They
good
sell
at his
the
job.
toys.
So,
That's what they stick Marsha with. And
and it
Again?
gets better. It gets better. Not only that, but Marsha and Wally move in with Carol and Mike because Wally's unemployed and the kids. Marsha, to cope, becomes an alcoholic.
I don't think it's to cope. She clearly was an alcoholic before any of this happened.
Marsha becomes an alcoholic.
Yes.
So delicious.
Yeah. And sadly, because they get all of the original cast, they get Susan Olsen back, but they lose Maureen McCormick. Maureen McCormick does not play Marsha in the
She
revival.
didn't want to be an alcoholic.
Yeah.
It's sullied her name.
Who is it? Do you know?
I don't have that actress's name off the top of my head. It wasn't anybody that I recognized when I looked at it right off the bat, but yeah. So there you go, kids. That's what happens post Very Brady Christmas. It's that closes the chapter on the Bradys as we know them. Of course, later in the 90s, you get kind of the rebooted Shelley Long, Gary Cole Bradys.
Which is far and above better than all the. I think, far and above better than everything that the Brady's ever produced. I think.
I feel like there's some social commentary there. Like, what happened to the Brady children? Like, what did Mike and Carol do that was so bad? Is it because they're a product of a divorce and then a remarried? Is that where they're going with
I think
this?
it's just the Brady children. They were. I think
Is it because Mike and Carol were too horny?
this is the dangers of helicopter parenting. because Mike and Carol are in every aspect of their kids' lives, and clearly their kids were not ready for adulthood.
No.
I think that's the lesson from this.
Yeah, there's sure. Yeah, there's a lesson to be had.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, Marsha becomes an alcoholic, and they just leave it at that.
Well, the series gets canceled after 6 episodes, so they never get to resolve
I'm sure
it.
she rehabilitates
Yeah.
at the boys'
Yeah, I'm sure
little
it's something.
business.
Yeah, yeah. So
Although I'm sure it makes Jan very fulfilled because she was always like, "Oh, Marsha," but now she's like, "Oh, Marsha's a drunk. I got this.
yeah. I'm like,
I'm living it."
Jan wins.
She finally.
yeah. Honestly, I think that's the lesson. At the end of the day, like Jan's probably doing the best out of all of them. She might have. You know,
She won the Brady's.
Well, especially Eve Plum being the way she is, she's probably like, "Are we done with this fucking shit? Because I don't want to do it anymore." Are we done? Like, great.
I'm
All right.
sorry, I'm a real alcoholic. So let's focus
Like,
on this.
I do this shit for real. Maureen's gonna have to act this shit. I'll tell you what, I do it for fucking real, everybody. I'll show
I'll
you.
do her part
I'll show
2.
Maureen. Yeah.
all right. So so we're gonna wrap this up here, but before we do, we're gonna go to our guilt meter, our rating systems here on Guilty Pleasures. Unlike typical movies, we know the kind of movies that we talk about on the show, so we have our own special, unique grading scale. So, on a scale of 1 to 5 shame spirals, 1 meaning you love this movie. You're not ashamed to admit you love this movie. You want other people, you would have a screening in your house if you could, so more people could see this movie. All the way up to 5, meaning I watch this movie, but I don't tell people about it. I hide it in my sock drawer. I would never let people know that I like this movie. Where does a very Brady Christmas rank on the guilt meter? Let's start with Patrick.
Ooh, this is tough. Because I'm pretty forthcoming in my lameness, and my weirdness. But I don't know if I'll give it a 1, and I don't think I'll give it a 5. I'm gonna go with a 3. Right in the middle there. I feel medium. I feel medium guilt.
All right, fair enough. Tim, how about you?
I would go. I would put a 3 as well because, and I would name this. I would name the 3 Mystery Science Theater 3000 rating because the 3 is I want to watch the movie. I have this look on my face of like, but yet I can't turn away. Yet I still have to make comments throughout the movie. Yet I can't just turn it off. I can't just turn it off and say like, "Oh, this is garbage. I can't watch this shit."
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Tim, wait, sorry, but for people that can't see your face, what is this face that you're making?
The face is, I guess, an awkward like. Somebody makes a joke that you can't decide is either good or really offensive.
Yeah.
So it's either like, should I laugh or should I be really fucking pissed off at this asshole? You know what I mean? Like just very much
So
like
he looks like Jan.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll go with that. Like, yet I can't turn it like, okay, I guess I have to listen to the rest of this joke that this asshole is telling me. Because I don't want to go. I don't want to go. No, I'm not.
I think you're just describing most people's Christmases with their families.
Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right, Lou. That's a perfect description. So I mean, I think, and that's where I think Mystery Science Theater 3000. That's where their wheelhouse is, and that's what I think where they get their viewership and the success that they've had over all those years of people going like, I can watch this movie, but I want to watch somebody make the fun make all the fun out of this movie, and I want to laugh my ass off while watching somebody make fun of this movie. Like that's kind of how I was in this movie. Like I can't stop watching, but I also can think of myself or think of while watching this movie like, oh yeah, we gotta make sure Bobby's Bobby's a bachelor. He's got the Chinese food and the pizza. Like I can't help but think of that. So that's why I immediately went to there. So that's why I put it a 3, and I'm gonna call it the MST3K rating of I hate it, but I can't look away.
All right.
Yeah.
Donna, how about you?
I'm gonna go with a 4. I love the Brady's, but this one really made me take a scalding hot shower, and I lost a layer of my skin. So it's a 4.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go 3.5. I'm a little closer because I didn't hate watching this movie. I enjoyed watching this movie. There were things about it that, that are just a lot of fun. And I think with the right group of people, you could have fun. I'm not going to recommend this to anyone who doesn't like the Brady Bunch. If you have zero connection to the Brady Bunch, probably cheesier Christmas movies, you'll probably have more fun with than this one. But
Absolutely.
if there are people out there who like the Brady Bunch and you haven't seen this, you absolutely should see it.
Yes, that's a good point. That's what it is. It's like, if you remotely like the Brady Bunch, ever watched the show, were ever slightly delighted by it, I do think Christmas, Very Brady Christmas, is worth your time.
Right. And for me, as someone who's not huge into the Brady Bunch and never was, it didn't work for me on that level. So I'm going to go a little higher. To me, for me, my comparison is more like Fuller House. That opening, the first episode of Fuller House, which is just a reunion nostalgia porn, is.
Yep. Let's do an update, everybody. All right, how about you? What are you doing now?
Right, right. To me, that hits me in the spot that I think this movie's trying to hit. So for me, it was fine to watch, and there's certainly a lot of things. I had more fun talking about it than I think watching it. So I think you're right there, Tim.
I think he enjoyed my reactions.
Yes, I always enjoy watching my wife be horrified by things. So, okay. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Guilty Pleasures. First of all, where can either one of you got anything you want to plug, any projects, any social media, anything upcoming you want to let us know about?
If you're in Chicago and you want to embark on the Polar Express train ride out of Union Station, you can. I'm the conductor in this interactive experience.
It's me.
Okay, how did we not know this? Because
that is.
I feel like we've missed out on an experience.
No.
Did you know this?
No.
No.
Yeah. Third year doing it.
Third year.
It's an hour.
We're really good friends.
What?
No, it's okay. It's more like a gig. It's like an hour train ride. It's like a theme park show almost. If you have kids, I guess that you all do. And if you're at Polar Express, like, they really dig this. So come to Chicago if you want and ride the Polar Express.
All right. Sounds good. Tim, you got anything?
No.
All right. Well, as always, you can find me on Twitter at @thefakeLouHair, or you can find us. You can find the whole network on Twitter at Front Row Reviews. And I encourage you not only to follow us on Twitter to find out what we're up to, but please go to our website, thefrontrowmoviereviews.com, where you can find links to all of our shows. We have so much going on, so much in December. Everybody's talking Christmas. We've got lots of stuff. Too many to mention here, but please just go to our website. If you are listening to us in your podcast feed, please subscribe to us. If you're on iTunes, please rate and review us. That really helps people find out about the show, and stay tuned for things that are coming up. If you're watching this on the YouTube page, please subscribe, rate, review, make comments, help get the word out about our podcast, and come back to us in January, where we have two things. First of all, in Guilty Pleasures, we are kicking off the new year in style with the film Death Becomes Her. And very excited about that. And we are also going to unveil something brand new that we have never done before. After the end of the January episode, we're going to give you the opportunity to vote via Twitter on our February episode. So when you hear the January episode, you're going to hear your options for February. There's some good movies coming up, so you're not going to want to miss that. But please find us anywhere you can. Let people know about us, and whatever holiday you are celebrating, I just hope it's a very Brady holiday. So for all of us here at the front row, I am Lou Hare.
I'm Donna Hare.
I'm Tim Tierney.
I'm Patrick Tierney.
And as always, we'll see you in the front row.